Netanyahu is. He is a war criminal under
and totally obliterated.
That's the phrase echoing again across global headlines. You have heard it from Trump. You have heard it from Netanyahu. And now you are seeing it unfold in real time in the Middle East.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision.
History is a hard mentor. It does not sugarcoat. It punishes forgetfully. That's why most nations have avoided learning from it. Europe forgot, and now the world is watching history almost repeat itself. This time, it's the Middle East that's on fire again. Out of the ashes of this new war involving Iran, Israel and the US, a strange theory is rising. It does not have a name yet, but it's loud. It's not well documented still. It's strangely well formed.
First comes strength, then comes peace.
And all it seems is to have stemmed from one simple moment. Netanyahu saying thank you to Trump after the strike on Iran's nuclear facilities.
First comes strength, then comes peace.
So what's this new theory called? Here it is in plain, unfiltered words. Do what we tell you, or else we will define peace. We will decide who is peaceful. And if you disagree, you are the enemy. This is not just a theory anymore. It's a doctrine in motion. And while it feels new, it's not. Empires have always worked like this. From the Persians to the British, strength was peace, peace was control, and control meant obedience. And that is the same template. It's now being reshaped for modern times in the Middle East. See, the US and Israel made friends with countries that kept quiet, that didn't challenge them. Lebanon tried to speak, look what happened to it. Jordan, GCC countries, are they speaking? Turkey has spoken for a while, but all along it played nicely and silently.
Why is it purely on Israel to deal with the civilians in Gaza? Jordan's King Abdullah II
This model
saying
is not just in the Middle East. India is trying the same playbook right here in South Asia. And then there is Pakistan. India is pushing to dominate, so its neighbors do not dare question its hegemony. This whole trend is very dangerous, not just for the region, but for the United Nations too. A world forum built for equality, now being sidelined by power games.
There are 55 armed conflicts currently going on around the globe.
We have seen this movie before. The League of Nations was supposed to stop wars, but then Italy laughed in its face. Japan ignored it, and the world paid the price. Now hypothetically, replace Italy with Israel, Japan with the US, and the League with the United Nations. And you'll be able to connect all the dots. And you can see what I mean. Peace through strength. Sounds good until it becomes peace through submission. If the world doesn't check this doctrine now, we are heading towards a much bigger war. Not just with tanks and missiles, but with narratives, ideologies, and mass polarization. And this time, this war will be more apocalyptic, not because of strength, but because of silence, and because of ignoring history, and because of choosing fear over fearless. So, what exactly are they up to? Peace through strength, or peace through justice, dialogue and equality should be the motto of the world. The world needs to decide, and decide fast, before it burns. In its response to American strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities, Iran has started. Iran and Israel, after weeks of treading fire, threats and making global headlines, have agreed to a ceasefire. But behind this silence, there is a noise growing louder. It's the sound of narratives shifting and powers recalculating. Though Trump has announced a formal ceasefire, endorsed by both sides, yet the world looks at it as the victory of Iran over Israel. Israel has been unable to achieve its objectives. Fine, they have destroyed whatever they could in Iran, but Iran's narrative has won. And remember, Iran did not win with tanks, it won with restraint. Tehran has been launching missile barrages after Israel strike deep into the Iranian nuclear facilities. It has struck American base in Qatar also. And look, the boom. The crisis could have been solved diplomatically. It could have been solved through cosmopolitan global forums like UN, but they were not given a chance. Iran has managed to hit back without losing the moral high ground, at least in the eyes of many across the global south, and even in the eyes of America, with Trump saying thank you for informing America in advance so that casualties at its Qatar base were avoided. American and Israeli strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities were daring, despite the fact that the facilities that were attacked were under the protective cover of the NPT. The world expected escalation. Instead, Israel got something worse. Even some Israeli journals off record are calling it a Pyrrhic victory. They hit Iran, but at what cost? There are chances of Hezbollah being reactivated, the Red Sea trade routes being threatened, Strait of Hormuz closing, protests reignited across the West Bank. The game has now moved past missiles. Iran isn't just playing defense anymore. It's rebranding itself as the axis of defiance, not just against Israel, but against the US-centric order. And while the West dismisses this as propaganda, countries across the global south are very happy. They are watching and they are listening. From here on, the battlefield won't just be in Tehran or Tel Aviv. It shall be in Yemen, in Gaza, in southern Lebanon, in Tel Aviv, in Haifa, and count on. This is 5th generation warfare now. It's about control of narrative. And right now, Iran's version of strength through resistance is gaining traction, especially among the disenfranchised youth from Jakarta to Johannesburg. For a moment, the war may have paused, but the fuse is still lit. What we are seeing is not just regional conflict, it's the slow erosion of Western moral authority. You can't call it peace if it's one-sided. You can't call it justice if only one side gets sanctioned. And you cannot sell strength as stability when the world sees it as bullying. So we are back to the same question. Peace through strength, or peace through humility, through diplomacy, or through painful